Today we're going to be looking at a cordless hedge trimmer. So this one's made by Ryobi and it is the 40 volt version. And the great thing about the 40 volt version is that if you have the 40 volt tools, then your battery would work with this thing. So the pole does extend to 8 feet. It has a pivoting head and the cut capacity is 5/8. So we got a few little pictures here on the side of the box. Here we can see how much the head tilts. So the cutter itself is 18 inches and the pole can be either 8 feet or 5.7 feet. And the total weight is 8.2 pounds without battery. Alright, so let's see what's inside. So it looks like we have a bag with a strap and some documentation, cardboard, and we can see our pieces. Let's start with the handle here. Nice looking handle, it's got grippy rubber. Then we have a lock feature here with the trigger. And this is where our battery will go. Alright. So we have the extension pole. Then we got the trimmer itself. So there's a little plastic strap. But yeah, it's quite a large cutter. You can see my finger. It can definitely fit in there. So yeah, be very careful putting fingers in there. So the motor is at the end here. So it is going to be a little bit of weight at the end of the pole. But because this thing rotates, the motor had to be on the end. And you guys can see the rotation indicated by these little slots there, so it actually locks into 4 positions. So that's really nice to have these positions depending on, you know, the angle that you want to cut at. And so the way this thing goes together is quite simple. You can either connect the trigger straight to the trimmer, or if you needed more extension, you would connect the extender between them two. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the extender and let's see how long 8 feet looks like. So there's a little triangle on both sides, kind of see it right here, and we're going to align those and that'll go in, and then we're going to twist this coupling and that's going to pull this through into the connectors. And same thing for this side. You can see a little triangle there. Triangle here. Connects together. And then we're going to tighten it up. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It's quite long. So it is 8 feet from the back to the very tip of the blade. So here we have a strap that we can use to connect right here so we can hold the weight a little better. And it goes around your shoulder. And here's some documentation in case you want to read your owner's manual. So the way this thing's made, it has 2 pieces. This piece here clips onto the tool. And here we have a quick release, and all you do is just pull on this. You can see the arrows pointing this way. If you pull on this, it releases the pin and just pops right out. So, and putting it on is the same way. You got to pull it and kind of push it back in there. It does require 2 hands. So this is the battery from my weed eater trimmer, and it is the 40 volt 4 amp. Any battery can work here. Even a 2 amp hour battery should be totally fine for this. But this is the only battery I have for 3 of my tools, and I have the weed eater, the pole saw, and now I have the hedge trimmer here. So the battery just slides in. Check our power, there's 4 dots. So let's go ahead and see how this thing works. So we're going to click in the safety, and I'm going to slowly pull the trigger. And we can see it go. So it is variable. If I push just a little, it'll go slow. And if I push faster, it goes faster. So it's not a very incremental variation, but it does start out slow and speed up as you go. So pretty good control overall. Alright guys, so we are here in the backyard, and this is the bush that really needs to be cut pretty bad. As you can see, it's overgrown. So we're going to try the trimmer here right on this bush first. So let's get this protector sleeve off. And you guys can see these limbs are not very big, so we shouldn't have trouble at all with this. Alright, so I finished trimming this bush and it turned out pretty good. And I started working on this hedge right here. So I've done pretty much this whole side here. You guys can see it turned out pretty good. And I'm working on going that way. So far it's cutting everything really easily and quickly. And I got it at this tilt angle right here. So even this size here, it cut no problem. And I think this is about the maximum diameter here. So. Alright guys, so as you can see, this thing works out pretty good. and the blade is very sharp and cuts really easy. So I took out the extension to reach the smaller bushes easier, and I've been cutting for about 30-40 minutes, and I still have 3 dots left on the battery. So this battery is definitely overkill for this thing unless you got, you know, huge amount to cut. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it, and I think it's a great addition to my other tools. It also has plenty of power. The 40 volts is more than enough to run the blades.